Hello, pretty people. I hope everybody is well. And here we are again, another late upload. Um, yeah, there's not much to say on that. But I am trying. Okay, better late than never. Better late than never. Anyways, for what was supposed to be yesterday's video, we are going to be doing, or I'm going to be rating some of my favorite books. I got 5 of them right here, and we're going to go through each of the 5 books and rate them. That's pretty much it. But yeah. So the first book that we got is Ice Planet Barbarians. Now this copy or the other one is actually not mine. This is my best friend Elizabeth's books and she lent them to me. Now, when you look at the book or the title, you don't think much of it, right? But then when you really get into it, it's like, what the hell? Like, because like when I first started reading this, I was like, oh shit, okay, something major is gonna happen. Let's just say it's very heavy, very heavy. Do what you will with that information. But basically, what this book is about is, so to kind of give you the gist of it, it's about this girl who's on a spaceship with a bunch of other girls that were captured from Earth. The aliens that captured them, so all of the girls that they captured, they're on a special cargo ship or something like that. But then something happens to the cargo ship, and it ends up landing on another planet that isn't Earth. And the main character, she seeks out and trying to find help, and then she ends up passing out when she's like trying to find help, and then that's when she meets, didn't even say her name. What the hell was her name? Hold on. Georgie, sorry. So the girl's name is Georgie. She's looking around this mysterious planet to see if there's anybody that could help her and her friends out. And then she passes out, and then she wakes up. That scene we're not even gonna go into. That's when she meets Vetkal. I think that's how you say his name, or something like that. And then it kind of just goes from there. So yeah, that's basically the gist, or that's what the book is about. Now my rating, I'm giving this a freaking 10 out of 10. Even though I haven't finished it because I still have a little bit to go. You can't really tell. Yeah. Bro, I have like that much left to go. Um, but yeah, I'm giving this a 10 out of freaking 10 because one, the plot, absolutely love it. And also because of the fact that my bestie gifted me this book, so just me and her are kind of into the same things, or some of the same things. So yeah, that book, Ice Planet Barbarians, was a 10 out of 10 for sure. Right, now the second book is this one. This is Marked. Now this is actually a whole series. There's 12 books in this, and I've read all 12 of them. But this one is like the first one, and pretty much how everything begins. And basically, it's this girl. Her name is Zoe Redbird. I haven't read this book in so long, so I like kind of like forgot the plot. But it's about this 16-year-old girl who's basically, I mean, her life's kind of shit at the moment. And then it's not until she like, I forget how she gets turned into a vampire. Oh, I think they, if I remember, I think they like stamp like a crescent like in the middle of your forehead or some shit like that. Um, yeah, I think as I said, I haven't read this book since like high school because that was when I read it. Um, and basically, I mean, after that, her life isn't the same, and she has to adjust to being a vampire. And the biggest thing for her is just like she can't go to her normal school anymore. She has to go to the school that is strictly for vampires. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, like the books after this get fucking insane. They get insane. Like friendships are tested, relationships like um lovers are being tested, trust is being tested, enemies become friends. It's just, yeah, it's the whole freaking shebang. Now my rating on this, I'm gonna give this a 10 as well, because like for me, now I know these might seem biased, but I'm a lover of books, and honestly, I think this was very well written. And especially because also you see some development with some of the characters, including the main character. Because like it in the third book, that's where she kind of like falls off, and then like she starts to like really like find herself again or find her footing again. But I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 because again, it was very well written, and I also love how both of the authors, because there's two authors that wrote these books. What was her name? PC Cass and Christine Cass. They're a mother daughter duo. Um, love some of the character development in this book. I loved all the plot twists and the up and downs in this book. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, now hold on. It is hot in here, so I have a sweater on. Anyways, so now it's time for my third favorite book, Dear Martin. This was given to me. This was a birthday gift given to me by one of my other friends from high school. I got this on my 18th birthday, I think it was. Yeah. Now it's kind of what the name, well, not really so much what the name insinuates, but basically the character or the man or the boy that you see on the front cover right here, his name is Justice McAllister. So, Mr. Justice McAllister, very smart cookie, and he basically goes through what Black people go through, unfortunately, dealing with racism from cops and stuff like that. And every time there's like a certain situation that he's in, he writes these letters to Martin Luther King Jr. in terms of like, hey, like, what would you do if you were in this situation? Kind of trying to like, I guess, like find some answers. And then one event is, man, that when it got to that part, it freaking broke my heart. So him and his friend are coming to a stop, I think, on the road, and their music is all the way up. And his friend has the music up all the way, like, just like completely, like, the volume is up in that bitch. So a cop comes along them or comes up on the side of them and is like, hey, you need to turn that down. And so Justice is like, okay, we'll turn it down. And Manny's like, hell no. Like, I'm tired of bending over backwards for white cops. And they kind of just went back and forth for a little bit, and the fucking cop shot him. Yeah. After that, it was just so sad. I was like, man. Now for my rating, giving this a 10 out of fucking glare is like crazy. Giving this a 10 out of freaking 10 because honestly, I mean, you can kind of see why, you can kind of see why. Because, I mean, this is from a Black perspective. And that alone is just enough to just draw me in. So, yeah. This was a freaking awesome book. 10 out of 10. Alright, next book is The Song of the Jade Lily. Absolutely love this book. This is a historical fiction book. And it's basically, it goes back and forth in between time periods, not in terms of time travel, but in terms of point of view. Because it goes back and forth from, what's the first one? I think the first one was like 1930 something, I think. Let me double check, hold on. No, it's not. Okay. Well, yeah, it starts in the late 30s and then it goes on into the early 40s. And yeah, from that point on. Now that point of view is the main character's grandmother, and it's basically like about like her upbringing, the stuff that she had to endure, all that good stuff. 2016 is just basically the main character and what she's dealing with. So anyways, the main character's grandfather dies, so she goes to Australia to, kind of spend the last few moments with him and be there for her grandmother as well. So then after her grandfather dies, she goes back to Shanghai to retrace her grandparents' steps. So it's like, wait a damn minute, like something's not adding up. There's some missing links here. And then and she's just left with more questions. That's when she starts questioning everything she knows, including herself. Now, okay. Now for the grandmother, right? Okay. So she had a friend that she was really close with, right? But because of the war and political conflict and shit like that, they got separated and they couldn't speak with one another again. So some time passes by and they kind of just like, I mean, they kind of she didn't forget them, but they kind of had to act like they didn't even know who she was. And so Miss Romy here, she goes to, I think, visit her friend who is a singer. And she tries to go find her backstage. And what does she see when she looks through the crack of the door? Her best friend and Will, which is the guy that she liked, screwing. And then, of course, what happens when you screw? You make a baby. And her best friend was indeed pregnant. Unfortunately, the mom died. I think the baby died too. I think. I could be wrong. I don't even freaking remember if the baby died or if. No, I think the baby did die. I think so. Anyways, but her grandmother, the main character's grandmother, was keeping a secret from her, or no, from her grandpa all these years. So she ends up getting pregnant. Wait, no, now I remember. Okay. So her grandmother moves on to, so she meets up with one of her friends after like a long ass time. And then they end up screwing. She gets pregnant. And so that's when she tells Will, hey, like, this is our child. And it's not. Like, he's not the father. So, I mean, they both raise it as, well, he raises it as his own. And then come to find out, like, towards the end, Wilhelm isn't even the main character's grandfather. It's somebody else. That's what got me. Like, at first, I was, like, confused and didn't put two and two together. And then once I kept rereading it, it sunk in, and I was like, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. Was not expecting that. But yeah, this was a phenomenal book. I loved it so much. Giving it a 10 out of 10 for sure. Last book. Blood Like Magic. I mainly got this because of the cover and also because there's a black girl on it. She's so pretty. Anyways, this book deals with witches, but this takes place in like the very far future, so like everything tech. I believe it takes place in Toronto. So basically futuristic Toronto. Now these witches, they have a ritual that they do for the upcoming, or for the next generation of witches. So how the ritual works is an ancestor from the past is called upon and they assign a task. And I believe the task, or if you fail or pass the task that you're given or assigned, then that determines if you are going to get powers or not. And so honestly, she didn't even think. Now the main character, I forgot her fucking name. Voya. I'm like, see, man, like. Anyways, so Miss Voya here, she gets a visit from, of course, from one of the ancestors. But the task that she was given was she has to kill her first love. And she was like, what the fuck? And like time is just like passing on and on. And she was just like, so basically for the majority of the story, her and her family are like trying to figure out like how they can work around this and whatnot. And essentially, like, she didn't have to kill her first love, basically. And I mean, okay, this is kind of a spoiler, but even if you're not going to read I'm still going to put a spoiler warning. Anyways, but she found a way around it, but it didn't happen the way that she wanted to. I'm going to just say that she paid some pretty big prices in order to get to where she is. So, as for the rating, I'm going to get... Okay, I know I've given all of these a 10 out of 10, but they were that good to me, okay? they were that good to me. All right, no matter how biased it may sound. Okay, okay. Anyways, this was a 10 because I love the tone that the author set. You know, futuristic Toronto. You know, witches and whatnot, and then I think the part that got me was the fact like, okay, you have to kill your first love, and trying to find like a way around it. And so, and she tries to go and kill like her first love. Her ancestor was like, "That's not no." And so it was like, "What the fuck do you mean?" Yeah, it gets crazy. But as I said, this book was a 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. There's a second book that goes with this. I had yet to start on it, but yeah, that book was a 10 out of 10.